Amateweld. Amateweld. Good evening. Like, I want to do a colored pencil drawing because I just heard I was going to do it earlier in the day, but I decided to work on some vlogs. But honestly, some years I'm into listening to the fireworks, but this year it is just bothering my ears. I'm like, no, 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 no. I can't be interested in that this year. I just can't. So I'm going to work on my colored pencil drawing instead. But I'm still trying to find like an angle that makes me the happiest. Like an angle that I really love. I don't really like this angle. Let's see. Trying to find the angle that I really, really like. That I really adore. Okay, maybe that's okay. I don't know. I don't really like it either. Okay. Sort of. But I don't want my face cut off when I'm drawing. I don't know. But we're just gonna kind of go for it, I guess. It's probably the mechanical pencil off. Anyway. So I thought I was gonna go with the contrasting color that some video editing software suggested to me, because sometimes contrasting colors are amazing when it comes to an illustration you're working on. But in this case, no, sorry bobbers, because the contrasting color to her outfit was orange. And I just don't think that looks what I want. Sometimes a contrasting color, I mean, it could be, but not for Hurrem Sultan. I want something that's more classically Ottoman. I don't think she'd have an orange background. This orange background is just weird. I might like the color orange in some context, like in an orange or mango. But for a wall, I don't think I would ever paint a wall orange. And even though I like the color orange to some degree, do I own anything more? I own like kind of like a mustard colored top, but that's like a top, because some of the clothes I have, actually, I didn't buy everything that I wear, by the way. Like some outfits I've worn over the years, like they're clothes that my sister gave me because she'd be like, oh, this doesn't fit me, and I bought this. Like, and I'd wear certain things because, first off, I like fashion. I do. And I'm the person that's in between minimalist. I don't like hoarding and I don't like minimalism. I think both are just two extremist camps that I don't want to belong to. I don't get either one. Can't there be like a middle way? And I've always thought that. I'm like, where's the middle way? I don't want to be a hoarder. I don't want to be overwhelmed with objects. Like if there's a certain thing I don't like, I'm going to get rid of it. Okay. I'm just going to get rid of it. But like when it comes to clothes, I'm not like these people that are like, oh, if you haven't worn it in 6 months, you have to get rid of it. No, because maybe you didn't wear it for a few years. Or if you're not like, I know some people are like just real thin their entire lives. So maybe like they don't ever fluctuate in weight. But if you've ever fluctuated in weight in your life, it's actually to your benefit to keep certain outfits. And I kind of learned this last time around. Not that I just like there were certain things that I got rid of that I donated. Like, not that I anticipated to gain weight again. And I'm not upset with the weight I am now. I mean, I'm okay with how I look. I'm happy with it for the most part. But I do want to lose a little bit of weight because I'm not going to pretend that being overweight is healthy. Like, I'm super active, but yes, I do want to lose weight. And I know some people will say, well, like, you can be healthy at any size, but that's just not true. Like, I mean, I don't want to gain any more weight than I have in my life. Okay. I want to lose some weight. That's how I feel about it. I think it's good to strive. I don't want to be underweight, but I do want to strive to weigh a little bit less. And I think that's a healthy goal. And yeah, it's just, honestly, I'm not one of these people who eats like a little birdie. And I'm not one of these people who portions controls to the. So, like, sometimes I do eat more. And, sometimes being around people who have tiny appetites, like in my own family, it's kind of annoying because they'll say things to you like, oh, do you have a tiny little baby appetite? Like, I just eat like nothing. I eat nothing. And I'm like, that's great. But yeah, I do eat a little bit more than they do. And I can't subside. And there were times in my life when I ate a lot less, when I weighed less. But yeah, I like being curvy. I just want to lose a little bit of weight. And I think sometimes when I drink soda or eat sweets, like, my weight goes up a tiny bit. So when I bring my weight down, I feel better. I just do. And I know that about myself. So hold myself accountable. I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, oh, health at any size. Because I feel like we're selling people a lie. Like, if people tell you that, I'm not saying you should feel bad about yourself. Like, nobody should feel bad about themselves, but it is a health risk that we're, like, kind of selling to young people today to tell them that being overweight can be healthy. We are selling them a health risk. And the people that tell you this, they don't care about you and your health. Like, they don't care that you're going to compromise your health in the long term if you're overweight. So I'm not saying I don't advocate for being underweight. But I do think it's good to be in a healthier weight range. I do. And sometimes it's harder, like, if you like food, believe me, if you're surrounded by people who don't really like food that much, but like I said, at the end of the day, I just want to feel the healthiest possible. Like, I just always think about these things. So I'm not one of these people that's going to eat like minimal like portions. I know that about myself. So I try to like rectify the situation by attempting to eat a little bit more sensibly, I guess. That's kind of my goal. Like, I want to be a little bit more sensible in my health, in my eating habits, so to speak, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense to people. But that's my take on it. Like, so I don't think anybody should ever feel bad about their weight or like get down upon themselves. But I do know that it would be better for me just to like say goodbye to sweets and not to eat any. Like, sometimes if I go to the little Olive Market and get a sandwich, I'm like, I shouldn't be eating bread and I shouldn't be eating sweets. And I just like, yeah, I feel better when I don't eat those things. That's it. That's just my take on it. I just strive to be healthy. And it's not healthy when people say that you shouldn't try to eat less processed food. It's just not, like, but I do. I mean, I do like food, don't get me wrong. It's kind of a conundrum, right? It really bothers my ears some years. I'm like, ugh, I just can't do it tonight. Like I thought, oh, I'll be fine when the fireworks start exploding, but no, my ears are just really annoyed right now. I'm just like, ugh, fireworks, why? I mean, they're neat and all, but they just really start to bother my ears tonight. I love them; they're beautiful, but I guess it just depends on the year and my mood. Like this particular year, I'm just not up for the loud firework thing. I'm gonna go blow some of the this is what I do when I draw. Like if I'm doing colored pencil, I do go blow some of the colored pencil particle off just so I can not have it going everywhere. Like I just find that very effective method. Oh, but I hate that. So sometimes you kind of have to tap on the thing too. And then, like, let's we don't really want it on that paper, and we don't really want it on the background. Just kind of want, you know. Anyhow, moving forward. Oh yes, moving forward. Yes, like this is the worst pencil in the world. It's just not a good pencil. I wanted to like it. But I'm like, I can't even get you sharpened. Sort of sharpened you. Just a little. And maybe kind of unify the colors a bit. Make her a green color. Give it some flair. No, we don't want blue on the skin. Like, the skin is looking blue, buddy. She's not blue. She's not a... That part off. Ugh. Okay. So I'm just going to have to keep blending, I guess. Maybe I should have got some white up in there. I don't want blue in her skin. I really don't. I don't know why that has to be peeking through. Like, I never wanted her to be blue. It wasn't my intention. Okay. I remember. Look. I don't want discoloration on her face. So it annoys me, so I'm sorry. Is this the one? Oh. I need to drink some more water. I'm gonna go pour some water to drink. I want to let the water filter drain out some water slowly or filter out. Okay, so I kind of have this response to like people that had this really strong negative reaction to when I cut my hair. And I've talked about this on several occasions. Like, I kind of didn't plan like to cut my hair. I didn't think I was going to cut my hair, but I had like a couple of things that happened. And this was the thing that I thought was so stupid. Like most people got it, but there were actually men who have never had long hair a day in their life who were just so rude about it and who assumed about why I cut my hair. Maybe it's because I had a couple overreactions, and I was the first time back in August was because I did a faulty henna treatment where I mixed henna with conditioner, the henna gloss. I shouldn't have done that. But my hair was upper calf length, okay? And yeah, I cut off a lot. But you know what? This is like what I didn't tell people. Like, I did that too late in the evening. Like, my hair was upper calf length, okay? And I went and put that on my hair, and then I slept with it thinking I could get the knot out. And I already have a hard time detangling my hair. And I just tried and I tried and I tried to get the knot out, and I couldn't. It kind of like just dreaded up in that one section of my hair. And then I had like some people say, well, you could have just cut that part of your hair and still have the length, like sides of your hair long, like super long. But that doesn't make any sense to me. So I cut my hair all to one length. And I've had a lot of epiphanies about this whole hair thing since. Because look, even when I was on, I will say, I was getting really excited about my super long hair journey in at the beginning of the pandemic. I liked that length of my hair really. I did like my hair when it was upper calf length. But one thing I will never do again, and I tried it because people suggested it, was to go almost a year without trimming your hair. I think after a certain length, you can't do that. Maybe some people can and they feel good about it. But for me, it wasn't practical, because I just feel like your hair becomes more fragile after that length. And it's just like, unless you're wearing your hair up every single day. And sometimes I like to wear my hair in a braid. So this has given me a lot of thoughts about the whole long hair thing. I do want my hair longer, but I don't really know if I ever will want to have floor length hair. because I had super long hair, and I think upper calf length hair was super long. I'm not saying my hair won't get really long because I'm growing my hair long, but the whole thought about it having to be floor length, it's like I get it. There are some women they love that, and for women who actually want their hair that long because they want it that long for themselves, that's amazing. And I have nothing against guys that admire super long hair, but just how cruel and how stupid and how petty some men were because I cut my hair. Like they were just so cruel, so negative. They didn't get it. And then some people say, well, maybe you shouldn't have said that to them. And you're just supposed to be like all calming and like about brushing your hair. And you're supposed to be this escapism for them. But has my channel ever been about escapism? No, I've never been an escapist channel. Like from the beginning, when I always had a channel, I was always real deal. That's who I am, okay? And a lot of people are real deal. And I don't want to be one of these channels that does like negative story time venting or anything like that. But I can't pretend to be someone I'm not. I'm not like all like, oh, like light and flowy and like nothing ever annoys me. That is not me. I mean, I've learned to let a lot of things go because I have been like, even though I guess I'm technically a Christian, like certain aspects of Sufism and Sufi acceptance really resonate with me, and just free will and all that. And if you believe in free will, you have to let people be. I do believe that. Like, I believe you need to let people be. Like, you can't force anybody to be who they're not. You need to let people do what they want with their life. I think my water's filtered a bit. Let's go get it. And I mean, some of Christianity also feels that way too, but I feel like there's this thing where you need to let people be who they are. Like, you can't force people to be something they're not. And it just like I loved the way that my super long hair looked. I thought it was beautiful. I really liked it. But for men who have never had super long hair, who are they to judge me? And here I am. I do all my hair DIY, I haven't been to a salon since 2008. I've trimmed my own hair. The only time I didn't trim my own hair was recently with this last cut. Even though I cut it myself, I did have my sister even it out for me because like in the past when my hair was super long, it was easier because you could pull it in front of you. Like, okay, like you can, if you were to pull this length of hair even in front of you to try and trim it, it's not going to be as straight. There's just something about having super long hair where that's easier because it's a little bit finer towards the end, like your hair tapers a little bit more. So the thicker your hair gets towards the top, it's just harder to cut it straight yourself. So, but I've done all my own hair care. Everything I did was myself. So I think considering that I did everything myself, I think I did pretty good. And I know some people are like, well, you shouldn't care what people think. And it's not that I care what people think. I got some stupid comments, just like people are like, oh, I can't support your channel anymore. But see, the thing is, it was weird because it was like, I had this guy, I don't know. I don't know, like just some people that would come to my channel that I didn't really know who they were. They never had really supported my channel. And then they came on and they just started. That's weird because I've never gone to someone's channel if they changed something up and said that to them. And I think we have a right to say something, or you could just ignore that. I don't know, whatever works for you. But I kind of do what works for me in the moment. Like if I feel something in the moment, I sometimes do say something about it because I feel like it wouldn't be authentic of me to just pretend like, oh, like that didn't bother me. So anyway, I guess what that whole experience taught me was this: long hair is beautiful, but I don't really like any group of people telling people what they have to do with their hair. I didn't really like it when women suggested that women should cut their hair. I don't like it when some men act like women are not as attractive if they do cut their hair. I feel like there's just no middle ground kind of thing. There's like no moderation or just allowing people to do what comes naturally to them. I guess that's the thing about the whole hair thing that just bothers me a little bit, is that everybody is so like up in everybody's business about what they should be doing with their hair or anything really. Like how they live their lives, like what they do with their bodies. Like, okay, and I really haven't gone as much into the divisive debate about like bodily autonomy, but I guess I'll talk a little bit about it. So, do I believe that like you should have the right to make your own choices in life on all civil liberties within like a common sense framework? Yes, I do. Like, look, I hate guns. I think guns are horrible. I don't like meat. I don't like eating meat. I don't like any of that. I'm not a hunting kind of girl. No, sorry, Bobs. I'm into like veganism. But here's the thing, at the end of the day, I know some people like to hunt and they like to eat meat. So whatever, like as long as they're doing it within a legal sort of way where they're not hurting anyone else, okay. Even though I know some extreme vegans would say, well, they're hurting animals. But I don't know. I don't really agree with that either, because I don't like PETA's stance, because they euthanize a lot of animals. And I just feel like I just have always been what I wanted to be. Like I wanted to kind of keep to myself and make my own choices and be a little bit more independent and not like fit in with the group dynamic. So I don't ever want to own a gun. I don't want to shoot a gun. I have no interest in guns, like blah, 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 yuck. But yeah, I don't want to completely take that right away from people. But on the same token, conservatives who believe in the right to bear arms, who are you? Okay, this is just the way I see it. Who are you guys to go tell women that they can't have certain private medical decisions? This is why I feel like you can have any opinion you want about Roe versus Wade, but I think legalizing certain medical procedures the way it was up until now was fine. And I'll tell you why. Because when you make something illegal on either side of the spectrum, whether it be gun ownership or like people getting an abortion, they're going to do it anyway. Okay. They're going to do it anyway. That's just my take on it. So you could be a conservative person who doesn't believe in abortion. And like personally, I would never get an abortion and I would never own a gun. I would never do either of those things. But I feel like it's so weird. Like I don't get, like there are some, like there's even some libertarian types who say things like, oh, like I believe in the right to bear arms and civil liberties, but then like on the down low, they don't want women to ever like make private medical decisions to get an abortion. And look, if you're using abortion as a form of family planning, that's totally wacky. Like who does that when there's birth control and Plan B and condoms and even like the pull-out method? Like there's a lot of methods that work, okay? That work very well. Pull-out method works very well. I know people say it doesn't, but it works pretty good. You can do like condoms, you can do Plan B. There are a lot of things you can do, birth control. But the thing that I just don't agree with the conservatives on is like you want to regulate and take away birth control because of your personal religious position. I don't agree with that. I think women should have the right to make their own medical decisions, whereas men should. And if you're going to say that people should have the right to bear arms, conservatives, you're in the wrong if you want to take away a woman's right to choose what she does with her bodily autonomy, because guess what? You make that illegal, they're going to go get a backdoor abortion. People have gotten abortions throughout the history of the world. I feel like Islam actually had a little bit more of an educated stance on this. Like some Muslims like said, well, abortion is okay in some circumstances, and it was practiced in some form. And I'm not saying I would ever do that for myself, but why is it that even like moderate Muslims are a little bit better on this issue than conservative Christians that want to control everybody? I think that's weird. And I don't think you can claim to be pro-civil. Like This is just my take on it. You can't claim to be pro civil liberties if you want to control what kind of medical procedures people are getting. If you want to tell who can get married. Here's the thing. If you want to be a conservative, okay, you don't have to get an abortion. You don't have to marry certain people. But I don't think you should tell people who they should marry, and what medical. It's dicey, and it's just weird because people have always done these things. They just do it under the radar. So if you want to go and make it illegal, you're just like the liberals who say nobody should even own a gun. And I don't even like guns. Okay, I hate them. I think guns are dumb. Like, no, honestly, no, I would never own one. I don't see the point. I walk it up as a pedestrian, and I'm into pacifism and palm trees. Okay, so yeah, but I used to be anti-gun. I'll be honest with you. Like, I used to be, like, a few years, like 10 years ago, I was very like, no, people shouldn't own them, and I was very against them. But then, like, I kind of was persuaded to be more open-minded on that issue, and I kind of like Gary Johnson's stance, like libertarians who are more like pro civil liberties, a little bit more liberal, I guess, on these civil liberties issues, where they want to own guns, but they don't want to take that right away from other people. So I think the more like radical conservative libertarians, like if they're really pro civil liberties, they don't want to make abortions illegal. They don't want to make certain types of marriages illegal. Like, if you're really just pro civil liberties, I hate to say it, like, I've been not wanting to get into this debate because I don't consider myself a Democrat or a Republican, and I don't want to get an abortion or own a gun. But who am I to tell people what they should do with their bodily autonomy? And look, I mean, I just feel like if somebody is following the law and they're getting a background check and they don't have a mental health issue and they want to own a gun, like, I don't personally, but if they do, that's their choice. But if you're one of those conservatives who feels that way, who are you to say, like Clarence Thomas, okay, that women shouldn't have bodily autonomy? Like, why are you up in their business? They're just going to get dangerous abortions. Like, people used to die of dangerous abortions. I just think this is where conservatives and liberals are both like, I don't agree with them. So, like, I can't take a stance completely on this issue because right now everything's so polarized. But I don't think there's a lot of people who see it exactly the way I do. So that's why I haven't talked about it a lot, because I'm like, it's just so divisive. But yeah, I do think the Supreme Court justices are big hypocrites if that is the most important issue. Like, no, that was not the most important issue. You know what? Why don't you do something about homelessness, mental health? You could find a libertarian way to do it. Student debt. There were so many bigger, more important issues, and that was the one thing that they cared about. And they want to make, and I don't even care, like, if this is an unpopular opinion, they want to make gay marriage illegal. What the hell? Why? I'm pro civil liberties. I'm not in this camp of I want to make things illegal unless it's something I like. Liberals, conservatives, I don't agree with either of you guys. So that's my take on the whole thing. Okay, like, you can have your own life choices, right? But your liberty ends where another person's liberty begins. So I think Clarence Thomas is wrong. I think the ultra liberals that want to like ban all guns are wrong, because like, as long as people are doing things within the law and they're respecting other people and they're not like mentally ill and they have a background check. So yeah, I do actually believe in background checks. I think for like owning a gun, I do think, yeah, there should be. And there probably should be like some mental health checks for that too. Is that not exactly a libertarian position? Probably not. But on that one, yeah, I kind of feel that way. But I don't want to completely make it illegal either. But on the same token, you conservatives who wanted to ban all abortions and ban all birth control, what the heck? People are going to do it anyway. Like, you just want to make it to where people are going to die doing it. Like, right now, people go and get backdoor like types of injections and things. And you make something illegal and people are still going to do it, and they always have. And it's just weird. And I don't agree with you guys. But then the liberal people that want to like go picket in front of a conservative person's house, like that's weird too. I just don't like the whole divisiveness of it. That's just my take on it. Like I have never wanted to live my life. In fact, I feel like American politics are so triple thick boring, and American liberals and conservatives are so up in their own business. Like they don't know anything else about the world because all they ever think about is our social issues, our domestic policy. They don't care about anything else. And that's another reason I don't like to talk about this issue too much, because I'm just like, yeah, that's my feeling about the whole thing. I just feel like it's so divisive. Everybody has an opinion and everybody is right. And I just am like, why can't we just, like, if people are living according to law and they're abiding by the law, okay, it's my take. As long as they're not like doing anything that would harm other people, and we have like background checks for things, and like, yeah, I think maybe counseling if you want to get an abortion too, okay? Like, I'm not against that. Like, talk to the woman and ask her like why, like, is this really what you want to do? Like, or do you feel like you're going to do this because you won't get any support if you have the child? And then also too, we need to do something about like women that do feel like they have to give their children up for adoption and support them in some way and maybe help them. Maybe I'm not completely libertarian on this, but more social safety nets for people that are, just in bad situations. And it doesn't have to be a government entity that does this. Like, it could be an organization. So I just feel like, well, yeah, we need to not be so like extreme on everything. But it's like there's only one polar right answer for everything. And I just don't agree with that. So I guess like I'm the outlier. Like everybody has like these really strong, like very intense opinions about every single issue right now. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't want to, because, 10 years ago, I used to be so certain about everything. But here's the thing, like, this is why people don't exactly agree with Libertarian or Green Party either, because there's just such a range of views in libertarianism. And I don't think you can really say you're pro-civil liberties if you want to make abortions illegal, because you're not, okay? You're more of a conservative, like, on not wanting to really respect civil liberties. You just want certain civil liberties that you agree with protected. I mean, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way, And so I want to be pro-civil liberties in a way that maybe I don't agree with your choice. Like, I don't want to get an abortion, and I don't want to own a gun, and I don't want to do marijuana. But if you're doing things in a legal construct and you're not really hurting anyone, like, I don't really want to take away your rights to do those things either. Like, does that make any sense? I feel like there's nobody that really sees it the way I do. Like, are there any people that are just like, yes, people are going to do those things if you make them illegal anyway, on all the issues? You can't just be pro-civil liberties on one aspect and not the other, And yeah, maybe there should be counseling for all those things. Do you want to get medical marijuana access or marijuana access? Maybe there should be counseling for that. Counseling for people that think they want to own a handgun, and counseling for people that want to get an extreme form of birth control, like an abortion. Like, maybe there should be counseling for all three of those things if you're, but then there's always going to be people who do those things on the black market anyway, and you can't stop everybody. You can make something illegal, but people will still do it. At the end of the day, like, well, traffic laws. Like, try being a pedestrian in California. Do people follow the traffic law? No, they do not. How many times have I almost been hit? That's so funny. And it's not. But I'm just saying, you can put 1,000 laws in place, and that doesn't mean people will follow them. Just my take. So, I don't know. Like, everybody's they're so adamant about, like, what they think everybody should do with their lives, and they know exactly the answer, and nobody knows the answer but them. Like Clarence Thomas, any other justice that, oh my God, or liberals who think they know the answers to everything. I'm just like, really? You know the answer to everything? You want to be up in everybody's business? You want to pretend that conservatives don't Google pornography more than liberal states? I mean, everybody Googles that, but like the states where they pretend like, they just have these perfect little marriages and everybody's super happy. Yeah, they never look at that. Oh my God. Really? No. Or like the liberals who will pretend like, oh, I'm so pro-environmentalist and people should eat less meat, except when they want to eat meat. But then they get mad at conservatives who, I don't know, raise a pig to eat. Hypocrisy much? I don't know. I don't have time for this. Like all this, like, and at the end of the day, can I be honest? American politics are so boring. Like, I love being an American and I love like American history and culture, but what I hate is just the blinders view of Americanism and how this is where liberals and both conservatives are just both the hypocrites of the world. Like, they think it's all about us. It's all about us. They think foreigners just want to talk about our issues. Like, they even ask Canadian couples, like, what do you think about Roe v. Wade? Well, I don't know. What do you think about their issues? Like, do you ever ask a Canadian couple as an American about social issues happening in their country or the devaluation of the currency in Lebanon? Like, do you ever think about other countries and people? Probably not. Like, I love being an American and I love our country, but I've never gotten on board with Americans, whether they be liberal or conservative, that are so obsessed with our bifurcated, like insular politics. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't think people get that. So I feel just very unique in just the ways I see things, So that's my take on all that. Like, that's my only answer. I just don't think anybody sees it the way I do. And yeah, it makes you feel uncomfortable, man. Like, that people are so up in everybody's business. I'm just like, what are you, a voyeur or something? Like, you're so worried about that women might get an abortion, or you're a liberal and you're so worried that the conservative might own a handgun. Why don't we just have like background checks and counseling? Like, that might not be a complete libertarian perspective, but I feel like, I don't know, implement that stuff, implement that. And also too, at the end of the day, I think it's okay. Like, let's say you live in a city. Yeah, probably if the city wants to pass ordinances against owning a handgun in the city, I totally agree with that, because the city can vote for what they want. Whereas in the country, if people want to hunt and they're not hurting anybody and they're out in the middle of nowhere, that's their grape jelly jam business, Is it what I want to do? If I lived down in the middle of nowhere, I'd have a garden and I'd raise tomatoes. Like, I'm not like, Johnny Appleseed, by the way, in the early 1800s, was mostly a vegetarian and only ate apples. Did he die from protein deficiency? No, he died, like many other people did, of natural causes. And you know why people liked him, though? He might have planted apple trees, but it's because apple trees were used for, like, making liquor. That's why people like Johnny Appleseed. Anyhow. But yeah, he didn't eat meat. He might have ate a little, but he was known for just kind of living a Or Bronson Alcott, Louisa May Alcott's father, Little Women. Like, he didn't eat meat. I don't know. He lived to be 90. Oh my gosh, where are you going to get your protein from? I don't know. From life? I mean, I don't really agree with Bronson Alcott's, like he was kind of not, I don't agree with his kind of, he was into the commune life before it became a thing. I think, I don't agree with all his opinions, but I don't eat meat either. Isn't it interesting how you can have your own opinions on things? I don't know. And then there's some people who eat meat, like, they're so bothered by someone who doesn't. Like, What's up with that, man? Like, have you ever tried to be vegetarian for a week? Probably not. Just can't fathom it, right? I mean, I don't say that you have to. You can eat all the meat you want under the sun, but some people don't eat meat. That's all. That's it. I mean, I guess because I was just so like taken to task and harassed and had so many rude comments saying to me as a kid about not really eating much meat because, well, my mom wanted us to be primarily vegetarian. We ate chicken sometimes, but we didn't really eat it that often. And she would have been happy if we never had. And it just bothered people. So, like, yeah, I guess because of I guess that's why I have this unique view on this because I always wanted to have long hair and wear dresses, and we grew up vegetarian. So I was used to being kind of just my own unique person as a kid. I wasn't a conformist. So I never really understood people that wanted to, and then like the control freaky people that would like try and say things to me about it. It's like they couldn't just live their own little happy life. Like it'd be one thing if they were just curious about why I did something, but they would say things like, "Oh, I need my meat." Like, and I never like went up to them and be like, "I need my vegetables. Or, I need my dresses." Like, but they felt all okay. Like, so I don't like people who tell other people how to live. That's my whole point. Okay. These people who want to control everybody, who want everybody to live a certain way, do things a certain way, to live their kind of life. What the heck? Like, why? Why does everybody need to be like you on a stick? You can't be like yourself. You can't have your own, I don't know, life choices. I guess that's my only answer really to the people. So that's my whole thought on all these current events where everything's so divisive. I just don't think it has to be that way. I still think America is a great place. I still am like a patriotic American. I still love America, but I also can understand why people love their own countries. And I have a respect for other cultures and an interest in other cultures. And I don't just want to talk about American policy, Like I'm not one of those people that's going to go on a Canadian social media page and ask them, "Oh, what do you think about this American issue?" And just like kind of just push it in their face like Americanism. Like I think it's good to be proud of your country. You shouldn't be ashamed of your country. I don't agree with the people that are ashamed of where they're from. That's hogwash. Don't get it. Like why? I don't agree with that. But on the same token, like respect them too. So I think I just have a unique view on everything. Like I never really hear anybody that sees things exactly the way I do. And that's my unique view. Take it or leave it. You can have any view you want. At the end of the day, I just don't want to control people. But there's a lot of this control mechanism wanting to control people, know what people are up to, control their thought process. I mean, my word, bird. No wonder humans are such an unhappy species. It's all this control. It's wanting to be such control freaks. I think that's why we're so unhappy and why people are so obsessed with like certain issues and why America never really addresses the real issues, conservatives or liberals. They don't care about the real issues. There are no addressing of the real issues in this country because we're so up in everybody else's business. And I'm not saying that these current issues don't have like issue, like I guess now like they're kind of an issue, but here's the thing. We're still going to do it anyway. So ban something, people will do it just as much. Just saying, but everybody thinks they know everything under the sun. So yeah, those are all my opinions about the current events. And yeah, I don't know. It's so dicey, It really is. It's really dicey. It's such a dicey thing. They're so certain about everything. They just believe they know everything about everything. And it's just like, ugh, really? Here we go again. It would be so nice to live in a world where people had more autonomy just to do what they wanted to do. But why? As long as they weren't hurting other people. But yeah. All right, that's all I have to say about that. Pretty much over it. All right. I think I'm going to take a break from this, but have fun. Thanks for watching.